What's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Playback. It's titled "Men Having Boundaries Equals Being Toxic." Okay, and they have Jonah Hill in the thumbnail. I saw a headline about this story or whatever the case. I don't know the details because when I scrolled, I just saw a whole bunch of screenshots of text messages, and I was like, I ain't reading this shit. I clicked out. So I don't even know what happened, but apparently there's some scandal with him and his girlfriend for sure. We're gonna get the tea and see what's going on. My apologies for the way that I sound. I'm very congested at the moment. I have allergies, I'm pretty sure. But anywho, let's hop into the vid.
Now, me, personally,
I
would never allow that type of disrespect.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I would never.
Nello!
Usher does this often.
For 20 years he's been doing this.
And he does it to that row, so the people that sit on that row specifically
know
they're about to catch this Usher serenation.
And she bought the ticket knowing that was going to happen, dressed like this, knowing that could potentially happen, and was mad geeked. But this nigga has been doing this shit for 20 years, bro. He's been ruining relationships for 20 years. It has not been talked about enough, man, the things that Usher does, man. That is not being talked about. A 20-year track
about ruining a relationship.
Immaculate, bro. Yeah. You know the Boondocks episode?
Yeah.
That's off a true story. You know that, right?
Word. So this has been happening.
Yeah, that's what I said. 20 years.
Oh wow, I thought you was being exaggerated.
No. 20 years. This nigga has been just walking around ruining relationships, bro.
Insane.
The guy who was a waiter who said, that happened to me though. Yeah. He said in real life, him and his wife were going back and forth and had a discrepancy at a dinner table, whatever, out eating. Usher walks in. She goes from this to like, oh my god, Usher. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. Yo, no funny shit. If my wife ever did that, I would have to really look deep. Because that means that she is like really intrigued by status. Yeah. And I'd be like, why? But like,
in retaliation of Keke Palmer getting serenaded, Darius decided, and this is the baby daddy, we live in a generation where a man of a family doesn't want the wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others. He gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family, my reputation. I have standards and morals, damn it. I believe. I rest my case. Now, Darius, I'm gonna tell you right now, nigga, you keep that shit at home, bro. Yeah, I'm not letting not a fucking soul know that I'm at the crib tight. I'm gonna be at the crib tight in silence, nigga.
That's the whole issue. It wasn't how he felt. It's the fact that he ran to Twitter. That's bitch made. I don't care. You're a grown ass man
tweeting about your wife
on
Twitter.
That's what Tom would do in Boondocks.
Yeah.
Guys, like this is he's literally Tom, bro. He's literally Tom, bro.
Yo, okay, first of all,
you're Tom, nigga.
First of all, look, if you set the boundaries in your relationship and she violated them that night, then you need to handle it with her as you should.
It really ain't no need for talking. Like that's it. Like
that's it, bro. What did you say you were gonna do when it happened? Like, is there now, like, do you trust her less? How you gonna work through this? Doing it on Twitter just feels like it accomplishes nothing. Like you trying to shame her. And I don't give a fuck how much somebody fucks up. Shaming them almost never leads to a productive result. It's almost always like a petty response. So this is a grown ass man that just realized that he could get his wife here taken by Usher. You're saying things like showcase.
I don't know if they're married.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Boyfriend. Bro, booty cheeks to please others? These are conversations you should be having with her in private.
Does that not sound like Tom?
But 100% of it.
It sounds like Tom.
But the point is like she's an entertainer. Did you expect her to stop trying to entertain? We just dropped an A&P divorce court video. And in one of the couples, she called herself an entertainer. She was really a stripper. But the man he wasn't happy with how much she was entertaining other people, but they had an open relationship. But the point was he just wanted some more attention. But it's like, you can't get with her and expect her to stop being her. So she's an entertainer. She's going to most likely flirt or be friendly with people in the industry, right? And a lot of people are going to flirt with her too because she is gorgeous. And she didn't become more friendly since you've been with her. She's been that way, and you've probably known that. So airing out known issues on Twitter is crazy, and is not productive, and it also just makes you kind of look like less of a man.
Also, it is hypocrisy. So all of a sudden she's a mom, but like literally, like less than a year ago, this is what he was posting. So he posting that when this is after she was pregnant.
Her little booty cheeks. And he was talking about her having out.
He's like openly recording this.
Yeah. So this nigga. There we go. You're about to get me banned on Twitch.
Bad, bro. My bad.
You keep pulling up ass on my timeline.
It is pretty hypocritical. Like she was a mom when you were recording her shake her ass and twerk on time, like, bro, you don't care, bro. You're just insecure, my nigga. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves, bro. And then, but then also, let's be also clear. I understand what you're saying that, you know.
Okay.
See, that's a lot.
Hold on.
But that's a lot.
That's
like, a lot. That's a lot.
So look, what she's trying to do here.
Come on.
Wait, I thought she was in the front. She thought she was in the back.
This is an industry tactic.
I know.
This is an industry tactic to make it seem like she doesn't have access to those type of niggas all the time.
I know. One, that is also true.
Two, I think this is corny as fuck. Yes. And you know who I've seen do this recently? Aisha Curry. On the talk show where she made a joke about taking off her ring when a man who looked good came on. Bro, you're fucking married. And the reality is, it's not even, you don't have no consideration, because the thing is, it's not like your relationships are private, right? People know about your relationships. So when Aisha Curry does it, they're going to look at Steph like, they're going to start, now he's receiving some of the flack for a decision you made, a joke you decided to make on your show. At the end of the day, it's a joke. She's not fucking about both of
these things.
Obviously, he has an impressive body. There's just no way around it. But this is like glaze. This is a certain level of glaze that you know is going to result in your husband or your man receiving some flack.
But it's not even that. It's just straight up disrespectful. Especially like the Aisha Curry thing. Like, they're married, they have kids. Like, that's something like, why are you playing like that? I don't understand that. I get the whole, like, you want to be relatable, but you're not relatable. You are married,
but that's
with kids.
That's
like,
what
that's
it is,
your
though.
actual life.
Y'all want to be so relatable, bro.
But you're not relatable.
But if that's what you want to do, though, just keep your relationship private. You feel me? Like, when you publicize your relationship and you decide to do these things, there's additional complications now, because you don't just have you to consider. But y'all decide to have these public ass relationships and post y'all significant others all the time, and then you also do things like this, and the net result is just negative. Also, you look more relatable, but it ends up making you just look more out of touch, because people are gonna be like, bro, why would you do that if you were in a relationship?
Imagine if a married man was sitting down, and like, we just brought out a bunch of strippers, knowing that the nigga's married, to seduce this nigga, and he didn't even play about taking off his rings. Like, we would look like mad irresponsible, like, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Yeah. Like, we're not being respectful of the sanctity of their marriage. But like, come on, like, what are we doing right now?
I don't know. This is just not.
So all I'm saying is just keep it consistent.
So good though. We haven't said that yet.
We can all agree, Darius, the way you handle that, you come across like a Tom Boucher ass nigga, bro. Like, just keep that shit in house, keep it at home, bro. You deal with it when she gets home, and that's just how y'all converse about it. But Jonah Hill, on the other hand, that is what he did. So for those who don't know, the other story is Jonah Hill was in a relationship with Sarah Brandy, who was a surfer. But they were in a relationship years ago. This is how nasty this story is, right? Jonah decided to outline his boundaries privately, which is the more acceptable way to go about doing it. He did it through text. Apparently, this is after some level of therapy that they had and stuff like that. And so he's using his words. He's exercising himself. And so he sends this... text message that now all of a sudden has gotten leaked out. A private text message that happened in 2021.
No, it didn't get leaked out.
She put it out. Yeah,
she said that he was a horrible, toxic boyfriend, and then niggas was like, show us proof, and so she was like, bet. Fuck it. So she decided to post text messages because she let
context.
She let the internet bait her. But bro, I'm not gonna lie, I could take any one of our messages and make you look like a dickhead, and you can do the same thing to me. It's not hard, bro, because all you have to do is make it very, very concise, and then you add your own context to it. Yep. And anytime you can make a nigga look like a dickhead.
And where's her response?
Because there's like 5 or 6 I've seen. He's just mentioning his different boundaries. I personally don't have to agree with all of them. I think if she was a surfer before you, having surfing with men be one of the priorities is kind of crazy. I mean, she could only surf with women.
But even listening, like, all right, so it's surfing with men. Sounds crazy, but then the next one says boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men. That sounds as if like that's a conversation they potentially have already had.
Right across the line.
And she's already crossed it, and now he's reiterating that this is one of my boundaries. And to go along with the inappropriate relationships you had before, I no longer also don't feel comfortable with you surfing with men as well. That's what that comes
in the paragraph. He says, my boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust.
Exactly.
So it's something she did to violate the boundary. And he's reiterating.
But to be clear, we don't know this, but that's a very clear, I know he said it, I'm just saying, that's a very clear way that it could have been interpreted based off of the last statement that he made, that something may have happened in a relationship for him to outline these boundaries, and she's making it seem as if like she did nothing or these boundaries are coming out of nowhere. And agreed, some of these may come across as a bit excessive, but A, we don't know the context, and B, we don't know the history of their relationship, so who are we to say one way or another? Because especially it sounds like she has a lot to gain in manipulating the truth, because she decides to put this out after he's already now moved on another relationship with the fiance, and after his fiance has birthed their child. Ooh. So she decided to wait to do this. But the crazy part about it is, going back to the initial one, even when you set your boundaries privately, it's still a problem, because now this is being manipulated in a way in which is like, oh, you're just a horrible person, and now all of a sudden it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So this is what really blew me, the gaslighting.
Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend, and it's important that we go over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on the receiving end, Sarah, to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is basically telling his professional surfer girlfriend, I am not going to be with you if you surf with men, have boundaryless friendships with men, model, post pictures in a bathing suit, or post suggestive pictures, and are friends with women who are in unstable places. He goes on to say that these are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. Jonah's use of the term boundaries in this message is a misuse of the concept.
And I want y'all to know, as Agent pointed out, the last part of it where it says, again, my boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. To completely ignore that part of
she
the
clearly was doing some shady shit.
Crazy. And it's even worse that she actually kept that part of the conversation in. And niggas still are ignoring it with very little context that we have.
She tried to make this nigga look like a bad guy, and the internet, rightfully so, said, we need proof. Because we're not just gonna believe you, because we've seen how that goes. And the proof she posted was it presented his point as the truthful one. Nothing, if she dig through, nigga, that says December 2nd, 2021. That means you went through your whole archive, and the craziest thing you can find is him just legitimately telling you what his boundary was. And this cornball, goofy ass therapist gonna sit here and tell us that it's wrong to have those boundaries. But I'm sick of, this is the type of therapist right here that will say and do anything to keep a client, dog. Because in all reality, if you can't see how these are boundaries just because you don't agree with them, doesn't mean it's no longer a boundary. Doesn't mean it's no longer a boundary, bro. A boundary is what you set. It's what you make it. Whether or not you agree with the boundaries is a separate conversation. But this nigga's gonna sit here and tell me it's not a boundary? Bro, those are boundaries. And it's based on, from what it says, shit that's happened in the past. If I'm talking to someone and I know she's really friendly, then I might need to create a boundary where she's not overly friendly with men so they don't think she's flirting with them. But if I'm talking to a person and she's not friendly, there's no need for me to set that boundary, because she's not even the type of person to be like that. It's unnecessary. It depends on your fucking relationship. It also depends on the type of relationship you want, the type of person you both are. That's what it is. You might want your girl to dress modest. You might want your girl to spend this amount of time with you. Bro, you can set it however the fuck you want to. And if she doesn't comply, you don't have to be together.
I want to say, that's the thing. If the best part about this is that if those are boundaries that she's not willing to adhere to, it's fine. Y'all just don't be together. Like I just don't understand.
It's simple.
Why it's that difficult.
And that's what happened. It seems like.
Yeah, literally, it happened. They said it. Maybe there was an ongoing conversation, but eventually it led to them not being together anymore.
But the craziest part is,
what the fuck is the problem?
The biggest manipulation of all this is that this woman had waited until he was happy in a relationship and they gave birth to a child for her to be like, damn, I hate seeing this nigga happy because it's not with me. Let me see how I can fuck this up for him. Crazy part is, it backfired. Bro, niggas is not dumb.
And again, I want you to be very mindful that niggas like him and everybody else who's on her side are completely removing every telltale sign that would immediately point to her being the toxic one in the relationship. Not only the last part of this conversation, the fact that this even got released 2 years after the relationship is already done, and then the timing of his of it as well, bro.
Marcel, there's no way to win.
There's literally no way. There's no way.
I've I've spoken to women before, bro, where
No way.
the issue they had was they would tell me, "Oh my God, you're so dry. It's like your brain is like a computer." They say shit like that to me because I don't respond emotionally. So you can be rude and disrespectful to me, but if I respond calmly, they take it as a sign I don't care.
No, that
But
means
if I
you
get
have
loud
good
and yell
emotional
and scream and get
intelligence.
angry, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, he really cares about this topic." So you don't care when you're just being straightforward and setting your boundaries. But if he got loud with her, then now you can spin that to make it look like he's verbally abusive and that et cetera, et cetera. Oh, he's an abusive partner and things of that nature. Because
You're right about the word.
Niggas be lobbing the word abuse around like it's nothing.
That's what she did. She threw around the abuse word. I'm like, how?
Where?
Like, if this is your example of it, bro, come on, bro.
But that's why I said we need to be more specific about the way we use words. If I say I abuse love, niggas probably gonna think physical.
Yes.
Right? Now if I say let's say you were a woman, I'm like, I abuse love, they might assume like maybe sexually, maybe physically,
It's a
but
whole
probably
bunch of
sexually.
list of things.
But people make assumptions based on the words you give them. That's the point. So just be specific about what it is that happened. And I made the same case about the word assault.
Yeah.
He got assaulted. I personally think physical, but nowadays you more and more so think like sexual. But then sexual assault is also very vague. It can go up to the R word and as low as like
Just
somebody touching your knee and you didn't want your knee touched.
Yeah,
So it's like the words have
that
became so vague and the definitions are so
I don't agree with
wide
that being
open
called
like, people are
essay.
using them to misrepresent what happened, and that's actually
with that.
manipulation, dog.
Which is
Heavy.
that, and that's the part where this dickhead right here and other people like him is like, bro, how do y'all not see these things? But again, even if I don't go down that line, bro, like, it's fine for him to outline his boundaries. These are his boundaries. This is what's set. If they don't agree, they move on. That's fine. It's genuinely not that complicated at all. But let's know your thoughts in the comment section.
Hey, they was spitting in this video. I agree with pretty much everything that they said. That Jonah story is stupid. Like, it clearly exposes the type of person that she is, given that this happened a fucking year and a half ago. Like, girl, who cares? Y'all not even together no more. And it doesn't sound like it's even anything extreme to expose. So what are we doing right now? The fact that she's trying to ruin his reputation and put this out there long after, they've broken up is just already weird, and it tells me a lot about her. And yeah, based on those text messages, it's like, girl, if this is the proof, like, you could have kept this. Like, how is this abuse? Like, that's just a bit much. And I'm tired of these people throwing these words around. I agree with him about the whole assault situation. I talked about this in previous vids. People calling everything SA now, and people throwing around abuse and gaslighting and manipulation. There's just all these buzzwords that y'all keep seeing online that y'all, reuse, and you're not even using them in the correct context, and it can be very damaging to someone's character. So I think that's really fucked up. But yeah, they were spitting. I agree. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.